Hi, I'm Tom Ballantyne, author of O'Reilly, here with Gabe Zollner, my cameraman and producer, in the hot August afternoon sun in Gilbert, Arizona. Friday, August 10th, which was last Friday, Gabe and I made the trek to Surprise, Arizona, which would be considered southern Utah from here, to hear Will Cardin being hosted by Congressman Trent Franks of Arizona. Will is running for the United States Senate against incumbent Congressman Jeff Flake. And to give you a little bit of background, I went to a meet and greet with John Webster, another cameraman who was willing to go with me, several weeks ago in Mesa, Arizona. And Will was probably not happy to see me there because he knows what it is that I'm going to question him about. And what that was the Arpaio investigation. And it was very disappointing, although not the least bit surprising, to hear Will say in response to what he thought about the most recent revelations or findings from Sheriff Joe's investigation, now 10-month-old investigation of Barack Obama. His response was, "Tom, I'm running a campaign. I didn't have time to watch it." And then he rebutted or attempted to clarify by saying that he had people that did that for him, and I suggested that I doubted that his people had in fact done it. Gabe and I had interviewed his campaign manager several months back after the previous Arpaio press conference. I keep saying investigation, but after the previous Arpaio press conference, and his campaign manager, an establishment Republican I might add from my extensive observation, said that he had not had time to watch it either, or had not watched it, whatever his excuse may have been, and that he didn't consider it, important to the campaign. All I can say is that if the eligibility of the most powerful man on earth, the most powerful man in our country, the eligibility defined specifically in Article 2, Section 1 of the Constitution, is not important, and this is the man with his hand on the nuclear trigger, if you will, the nuclear football being within 10 feet of him at all times, allegedly, the man with his finger on the United States economy, I should say his boot on the neck of the United States economy, the man who has systematically abused the Constitution and appears to be intentionally, and I say appears, frankly, it's obvious that he's intentionally destroying our economy, and a man who apparently does not value America, as he says he loves it, but promised, and this is one promise he has kept, to fundamentally transform it. That, if his eligibility is not an issue, then I can't possibly imagine what would be a bigger issue. So, what I was going to ask Will about on Friday was, Will, now that you've had several weeks to check with your people and determine what they learned from the Arpaio press conference, I want to know what you're planning to do on the obviously irrefutable evidence that my friend Mike Zullo and Sheriff Arpaio have uncovered. Now, we were not allowed to do that because even before I stood to speak, Will's campaign manager came up and asked Gabe to stop recording. Now, they of course had a video camera in the back of the room recording the entire proceeding, but we were asked not to record. Gabe objected, of course, and then I got up and asked him, we moved to the side, I asked him what law he was citing that would preclude us from investigating or videotaping, investigating might have been more accurate, a public meeting, and he replied that they paid for the room and therefore it was not a public meeting, even though the general public had obviously been invited. So, to end this little diatribe, Will's great campaign strategy, and apparently this is what he got from his establishment campaign manager, high-dollar campaign manager, I might add, is to use very high-quality bumper stickers which will not, according to Will, leave a residue on your bumper, in lieu of posting videos such as ours on the internet where they can be viewed and will be viewed by tens of thousands of viewers. And all I can say to Will and his campaign advisor or manager is that if your message is an embarrassment to you, or it's not something you're willing to publicly stand on or stand behind and proclaim, then, Will, you need to change that message. But here's what the message should be. You asked me several weeks ago what I wanted you to do. You asked this somewhat in desperation because, as you know, Will, I like you and I would be more than happy to help you and have tried to help you, but you seem to have little interest or understanding of the Tea Party. When you asked me that, I answered the following. Will, all we want you to do is to say the truth. Is Barack Obama eligible to hold the office according to our PIO's investigation with the patently false or fraudulent birth certificate and selective service registration? Obviously he's not. Should he be investigated? Obviously he should. Will you do that if elected to the United States Senate? The obvious answer would be yes, because you're going to take an office to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And in Mr. Obama's case, he appears to be both foreign and domestic. That's all we want you to do, Will, and it's not a difficult thing to do. It's simply a matter of keeping the oath that you purport to want to take. I'm Tom Ballantyne, author of Oh, Really, O'Reilly. Thank you.